So you go to heaven eventually, yes?
Only the good ones
Okay,
go
fine.
to
The
heaven.
only good ones, they go to heaven eventually, yes?
And the bad ones go to
Oh
hell.
my God. Answer the question. Do they go to
I'm
heaven
answering. Not
eventually?
all of them go to
Not all of
heaven.
them go. Do people eventually go to heaven?
Not all of them.
That's fine. Do people eventually go to heaven?
It started with a simple question. How many denominations does Christianity have? But what this Muslim caller didn't expect was how quickly his argument would collapse when Big Jon Steel started pressing for answers. From denominations to blasphemy accusations, from crucifixion details to the Trinity, and finally, to a simple question about life after death, the Muslim jumped from point to point, dodging every chance to give a clear answer. As the Muslim kept moving in circles, refusing to answer the most basic questions, even Big Jon had to laugh and say, "My mind is breaking." You won't believe how far this conversation spirals before it finally comes to a close. Full stream is linked in the description, and if you enjoy solid biblical truth cutting through confusion, smash that subscribe button and let's get into it.
How many denominations in Christianity?
There are 45,000 denominations, but there are only about 300 different ecclesiastical versions.
Yeah, and does some of each of them consider each other blasphemous?
No, if you're part of that, so from that study that comes from the 45,000 denominations, what the heck was his name? Anyways, it comes from the World Christian Encyclopedia. I'm just going to Google his name real quick. Barrett, by Dr. David Barrett. And so he basically did the study in denominations, and he only studied the denominations. He was trying to get the study of all world religions. Christian denominations are only considered Christian denominations if you're a part of like the same ecclesiastical values. The 300 different ecclesiastical values would be minor things. So the ones that would be considered heretical wouldn't even be considered are considered a Christian denomination.
So minor that they fight each other, like the Irish or
no. So again, the ones that would be like considered crazy heretical, right? We're not even considered Christian denominations.
all the 45,000.
There's not 45,000. There's not 45.
Belief.
My friend, you guys need to learn to listen. So 45,000 different denominations, 300 different ecclesiastical views. That means within the 45,000 denominations, there's only about 300 differences. So that means when Barrett was doing his study, if he went to a Catholic church in let's say New York, and he went to a Catholic church in California, he would say those are two different denominations because they're two different Catholic churches in two different locations. This is how you ended up with 45,000. There's only about 300 different ones where they disagree on different theologies.
So 300.
About roughly, yeah. And
yeah,
these are very minor.
Those 300, some of them consider the other one committing blasphemy.
No.
Oh, they are all believers.
Yes.
So why do they fight each other?
They don't.
Oh, they did in Europe. Catholic, they fought with Protestant.
Yeah, there's a beef with Catholic and Protestants for a while, but that was more about power, not about religion.
Well, it's they look at. I'm sure they call each other blasphemy. Did you hear the word blasphemy?
So what's blasphemy?
Blasphemy when you say something and the other.
I know what blasphemy is. What is the blasphemy?
When they interpret things different.
Which specific thing are they interpreting differently that they're calling blasphemy on each other?
Yeah, they are 300. That's why they are 300.
What specific things are they calling blasphemy on each other?
Let me give one point. Do you believe that after Jesus was crucified, there was a darkness covered the whole land for 3 hours until the 9th hour? Do you believe this?
I don't remember exactly what the time frame was, but yeah, there was the darkness.
Okay, but why the other gospel did not notice this 3 hours?
What the hell? What the hell does it have to do with anything that we were just talking about, bro?
My friend, these books are written, the Nicaea,
Well, what did
the
that have
Nicaea
to do with
Council,
anything that we were talking about? I asked you to give
because
me.
you think that it is
You're
only
Muslim, right?
one.
You're Muslim, right?
I am Muslim,
You know how
yes.
I know you're Muslim?
How?
Because you just did a Muslim shuffle.
Shuffle.
Yeah, you did the
Okay.
Muslim shuffle. I
What
asked you
is shuffle?
specifically to give me a thing that two denominations fight about that they would call each other heretics on. And instead of answering that question, you jumped to biblical contradictions.
Okay. For the answering this, the answer your question, I'm sure. I'm not. I did not study your faith, and this is
So
upon
you
you
don't know.
guys.
You're just making stuff up. You just
No,
think they do.
no. Listen, sir. Listen.
So you don't know.
There
You
is
don't know. You're just pretending.
all the people are listening to us, John, and they know
Yes.
that
And they're listening to you do a
many of
Muslim
the
shuffle and then
Christians,
talk out of your butt because you don't know what you're talking about.
many Christians called the others blasphemous. Many. The Orthodox
About
don't
what?
agree with the Catholic.
About
Catholic
what?
don't agree with the Protestant.
About what?
I'm sorry?
About what?
About what?
Yes.
So you tell me what is the difference? Why Orthodox is not Catholic?
So
Why Catholic is
so
not
blue
Protestant?
truth seeker came and said Sunni, Shia, 12 are Islamites, Zadis, Sufism, Ibadi, Ahmadiyya.
And are you going to Islam now? You are shuffling now.
Why don't you guys all?
You are shuffling now.
I'm just reading the super chat, bro.
Yeah. No,
So
let's
again,
stay
what do
here.
they disagree about?
We are shuffling now.
No, I'm right back on topic. What do they disagree about?
Well, if it comes to Islam, my friend,
What do
there
the
is.
Christian denominations disagree about?
You tell me.
You don't
tell me.
know. Well, they don't. They don't disagree about the major things. They disagree about
Okay,
small, minor
so
things.
can we just leave this point and
So
the
you
point
admit you're
is-
wrong?
No, leave it to the people because there is
So you're wrong.
300 whatever you said.
Ecclesiastical versions, which are
And you say they are all the same.
which are mainly minor things. They're not major
minor
things.
things,
This would be a
okay.
very small thing, not a big
Okay.
thing that they disagree on.
That's good. That's good. People will judge this if it was small or it was big, that they fought each other and
They don't fight each
unalive
other,
each other for.
Okay, hold on. Watch this.
millions.
Watch this.
I know.
Everybody in the chat,
Yeah.
so tell me what your denomination is if you're willing to tell your denomination. Hold on, just watch this. Catholic, Baptist, Lutheran, RC, Orthodoxy, Protestant, Agnostic, LDS, Red Letter, Non-Denominational, Baptist, Born Again, Baptist, Protestant, Anthemathis, Catholic, EO, Orthodox, Protestant. So we got a lot of different denominations. For everybody who's part of the Christian denominations, do you all consider each other brothers and sisters in Christ, and that you believe that the vast majority of them, as long as they trust in Jesus, you will see them in heaven on Judgment Day?
Are those scholars
of course,
you're talking to?
yes.
Are
of
those
course.
scholars?
Hold on.
you're talking to?
Yes. So we have literally hundreds of people here, and I got multiple chats because I also got a YouTube chat.
But
You can
those are
I'm not done.
authority,
I'm not done. I also have a YouTube chat that is really being spammed right now that you can't see. That's just flying. Same thing. So we have a whole bunch of different denominations here. We all agree that each other is Christians and that we will see each other in paradise.
Yeah, so
What
those
is your
are
issue?
the authority. Those people you're talking to are the ones who agree that
Your
Orthodox is the same like Catholic.
argument was that they look at each other and call each other blasphemers. If they were looking at each other, calling each other blasphemers, that means they wouldn't believe that they were Christians because they're committing blasphemy.
Okay, I would like to just leave this point as it is and go to another point,
Okay.
if you don't mind. The other
That's
point
fine. That's
was,
fine. You lost.
Yeah, the other point is if a darkness happened for 3 hours, why the other gospel did not notice the 3 hours?
That's called an argument of silence, my friend.
Yeah, so tell me, it's something that you would notice 3 hours.
I don't have to tell you anything. It's an argument of silence.
How about
I don't
how
argue
about
against
when,
an argument of
when
silence.
you see dead people come alive and walk in the streets, and how come People, do you believe this happened? Did people resurrected?
You're giving another argument of silence. I do not have to argue
No,
against an argument of
we,
silence.
you said, give me a reason to leave Christianity.
Yeah, those are arguments of silence.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense, my friend, for the to believe. It makes sense to thou shall have no other gods before me. You calling
Amen.
Jesus a god.
Yeah, because
And
he's
you
that same
are,
God.
instead of worshiping the God who created Jesus.
Is my mic loud enough, guys? I feel like you can't hear me. So Jesus is the same God.
Jesus. So what was he praying to?
He's praying to the Father. I could turn my mic
so,
up. I could turn my mic up.
So he was praying to himself?
No, he's praying to the Father.
So they are two.
Two persons, same God.
Two persons.
Yeah.
You and you are comfortable with that?
Yes.
Two persons, and two persons are the same one.
Two persons, one God.
So Jesus was a God when he was alive?
Yes.
Okay, so when he died, God died?
Yes.
So why everything didn't disappear if he died?
What's your definition of death?
Well, when you die, you have no ability to do anything.
So your definition of death is ceasing to exist?
You have no ability to do things.
Okay,
this
so
is
hold on. In Islam, when you die, do you go to Gehenna?
When you die, you go into a period between life and the day of judgment.
Do you cease to exist?
As a soul, it still exists in a dormant phase.
Okay, but eventually you go to Gehenna, right?
At the day of judgment, God will resurrect all of us.
Why is it so hard to answer? So you go to heaven eventually, yes?
Only the good ones.
Okay, fine. The only good ones. They go to heaven eventually, yes?
And the bad ones go to hell.
Oh my God. Answer the question. Do they go to heaven eventually?
Not all of them go to
Not all of them go. Do people eventually go to heaven?
Not all of them.
That's fine. Do people eventually go to heaven?
What do you mean by heaven? Heaven, you mean
what do you mean? What do I mean by heaven? It's a simple question. Answer the simple question. It's not that hard. Why do Muslims never want to answer a question? It's a straightforward question. It's not a hard question. It's a very simple question that's really easy to answer. It's a very simple question, easy to answer.
What do you mean?
Do people eventually go to heaven? Do people go to eventually heaven?
Do you mean paradise? Do you mean paradise?
Paradise. Do eventually they go to heaven?
No.
Nobody goes to heaven?
Only the good ones.
Fine. Do the good people go to heaven?
Only good ones, yes.
Okay, so they eventually go to heaven.
Good ones go to heaven. What's wrong with that?
Okay, so then they can do things after they die, yes?
Where I mentioned there is a phase after
there's a phase,
away.
That's fine. But they could do things after they die, yes?
Which phase you talking about?
Doesn't matter which phase. Eventually, after they die, can they do things?
Okay, hold on. Let me explain what I believe. If you
I don't care what you believe. I want you to answer the question. Straight up question.
I'm answering, but
no. You're not going to answer the question. If your sentence starts with "Hold on, let me explain to you what I believe," you're not answering the question. Eventually, when you die, will you be able to do something?
You have no well. You have no well after. If you are a bad person and you go to hell, you have no well whatsoever. And
okay, so then why go to hell if you have no will?
In hell forever.
That's fine. So why go to if you have
lying,
no? Oh my God!
If you are lying about God,
the people.
Linda,
I didn't say the people in hell. I said the people in heaven. The people who went to heaven. The people who went to paradise. Can they do things?
It's only a matter of enjoyment. That's all what they do.
Doesn't matter. Can they do things?
It's not what kind of
can they do things?
Enjoy.
Can they do things?
I'm answering. Enjoy. That's all what they do. Enjoy.
That's fine, but they can still do something, right? That's a thing.
The active enjoyment, if you do understand what I'm saying.
Is the act of enjoyment doing a thing?
What do you want to say?
A straight answer question. A straight answer to my question.
Enjoy.
Can they do something? Which is enjoying. It's enjoying.
They can
doing
enjoy.
something.
Yes, they can enjoy.
Okay, so when you die, you could still do things afterwards. Yes.
When you get, my friend, it's easy, and you're trying to philosophize something. It is simple.
It's not philosophy, bro.
You're trying to make
simplest
simple things. You're trying to
world.
make it difficult.
This is not even difficult. This is so. You're the one making it difficult. You can't answer
I'm
a
saying
straight
now.
question, my lord. My brain is breaking.
Now, when you, I told you what happens after you pass away. Passing away is the same like you sleep. When you pass away, the first phase is almost like you are sleeping, but when you sleep every day.
And that right there shows exactly how simple truth exposes circular confusion. Here are 3 key takeaways from this wild exchange. 1. Unity isn't found in denominations, it's found in the gospel. While Christians may have different groups, the core truth about Jesus remains the same. One Savior, one salvation. 2. Arguing from silence is not an argument. Just because one gospel mentions a detail and another doesn't mean it didn't happen. Selective reporting isn't contradiction. 3. If you can't answer a simple question without dodging, your argument collapses. By the end, Big Jon wasn't confused by doctrine. He was exhausted by the mental gymnastics, and finally said, "My mind is breaking." If you enjoyed watching this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and drop your thoughts in the comments below.